what are the things that these people throughout all these videos have said are now the bare minimum? I'm going to just give you the list of things, the 21 things that they said are the bare minimum. So you as the guy these days are doing the bare minimum when you ask her on a date, when you send her regular text messages, when you're getting her flowers, you're complimenting her, when you're buying her an outfit, because I've had girls ask me to buy them outfits on dates before. I'm not that guy. When you're paying for her meal, this is all bare minimum stuff, guys, bare minimum. You're getting her gifts. You're being kind to her. You're being thoughtful. You're giving her attention. You're being respectful. You're listening to her and you're not talking over her. You're doing what you say you're going to do. You're being honest. You're being transparent. You're being faithful. You're reciprocating to her. You're giving positive energy. You're being sincere, and you're giving equal effort towards the things you've decided are both important to you. All those things are now considered bare minimum. If you're a guy that's doing all those things, I can assure you, any woman would be crawling up your leg to have you, because the reality is most guys aren't doing what's considered today to be the bare minimum. And so that's why I'm all for it. If this is the list of things that people are saying is the bare minimum, guys, you need to be doing the bare minimum, because all this stuff is stuff that women are actually clamoring for. There are things that most guys aren't able to do. And more importantly, they are things that you do in the beginning of just the dating phase of things that give her the respect that she deserves. But at the same time, you're not giving so much that it makes her feel as though you're doing the most, and it's going to pressure her away. Now, to end this segment, I'm going to give you guys 8 reasons why it is perfectly fine to give women the bare minimum during the dating phase. Again, this is the dating phase. In the relationship phase, obviously, guys, you're going to give more when it pertains to the relationship itself. But don't be tricked into thinking that you giving the bare minimum during the dating phase is incorrect. And there's a variety of reasons for that. So the first reason it is okay to give the bare minimum during the dating phase is that if she is not accepting of the bare minimum, she's going to be high maintenance. I have yet to date a woman that was trying to get me to give more than the bare minimum that didn't end up being a hassle or overly expensive or trying to get me to buy her extra things. In effect, she was a gold digger. Now, I'm not against women dating guys for the purposes of, understanding that resources are important and that he needs to partake in some of that. Like, I get it. Women, protection, providing, all that stuff. But a woman that's trying to make you go out of your way to do more, that is not a woman that is going to be okay in the long run. So you actually want to do the bare minimum to suss these kind of women out, because they will drain your wallet, your energy, and they will make you frustrated. So do the bare minimum and get these women out of your life. The second reason it is okay to give the bare minimum during the dating phase is that I have found personally that giving more than the bare minimum in the beginning of the dating process tends to freak women out. I have women friends that come to me and tell me about the guys that they're dating, right? And they'll do these great things. Oh, this guy took me to this concert. This guy took me to this restaurant that was really expensive, blah, 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 blah. I'll ask a couple months later, that guy is no longer in the picture. And what women don't tend to understand is that they may be asking for a guy to give the most, but most women, they find that when they actually go through the experience of that, it freaks them out. Many of them, for example, that say like, oh, I want to date a high value guy, right? They'll date a high value guy that's taking them on like expensive restaurant trips and trips across the country. And then they realize, oh crap, like, this feels like he's bribing me, because now if he's doing all these things, I now got to hook up with him. And also, I don't know if I can keep up. Like, the girl's sitting there thinking like, he's doing this stuff. How do I reciprocate? I don't know what to do. Oh my God. And so women might be thinking that they want a guy to give more than the bare minimum. But the reality is most of them don't actually know how to handle when they get a guy that's doing more than the bare minimum. Just real talk, guys. The third reason why it is okay to give the bare minimum during dating is that, again, she needs to feel as though she has to earn some of those higher privileges. You might be a guy that can afford to take a woman on a date across the country. That's fantastic. But by date 3, she shouldn't be getting offered that at all. That is a thing that you reserve to give to her at the point that she agrees you guys are in a relationship. Until then, I said to women, I remember I started dating a girl one time and I was like, it was like our second date. And I was like, oh, I'm going to be going to Palm Springs this weekend to like go to, back when MTV did like their MTV beach house parties days. I went to one of those. I didn't invite her to go. I was like, I'm going. I paid. We're not a boyfriend. I didn't say this to her. I'm thinking in my head, we're not boyfriend or girlfriend, and I don't owe you that trip. And you know what? She was fine with it, and we ended up dating for a while. Like, so don't think that women aren't thinking on some level that this is a contest for them. The job is to, look, here's the thing. Women want to be in the market to convince you why they deserve more privileges. It makes it dating fun for them. They want to see that the efforts they're putting forth are resulting in them turning you on to them more and more. Like, they want to think that the work that they're putting out, that they're doing things to receive more of your attention and more of your resources and more of your effort. So let them do that. Let them go through the hoops of having to convince you why it is that you need to spend more time and effort on them, okay? They actually enjoy that. But on top, more importantly, if they have to work for that, then at the point that they feel like they're in a relationship with you, they feel like it is now justified. They have done the things that they needed to do to earn your ability to say, yes, I want a relationship. And at the point that they've earned it, because they feel as though they've earned it, they don't want to do anything to jeopardize that. Versus you give it to them on a silver platter, you're overextending yourself, you're doing all the things. She earned none of that. So she doesn't value it. So it's nothing for her to just be like, I'm going to give that up. I don't want to see him today. Do. Like, versus if she had to earn it, she's like, oh, I'm going to keep doing all the things because I don't want to chase him away now that I've earned him. Let her go through that journey. The fourth reason it is okay to give the bare minimum during dating is because actually you need to learn the level at which she is comfortable reciprocating. You are meeting a stranger. You do not know her enough to owe her anything. And you both need time to figure out what your likes and dislikes are, in what ways, what does she view as reciprocity? You know, hey, some women are like, well, if I do a thing, then you want to take me on a fancy dinner date to like an expensive restaurant. That is some women. Other women are like, look, if you just say some kind words to me, I'll say some kind words back. I'll cook you your favorite meal if you like, you know, occasionally take me out once or twice a week. Like, so you need to figure out on some level what she considers to be reasonable. If you give the bare minimum and she complains a lot about that, you'll know, okay, this isn't the girl for me because she's clearly not accepting of, like, she can't do a simple, I thought it was going to be a romantic picnic in the park. She's complaining. This is probably not the girl for me, and you can get out a lot faster. The fifth reason it is okay to give the bare minimum is because you will find out that some people have ridiculous ideas of what is and is not considered the bare minimum. We go back to the video I showed you earlier with the girl that was like, well, he wants to buy me shoes, but if he doesn't buy me shoes and a purse, then he's not my guy. If you're giving the bare minimum in the beginning, it's going to be very easy to figure out the kind of women that have ridiculous ideas of what bare minimum is. If her idea of doing the bare minimum is you ask her out on a nice date and go for a walk and share an ice cream, and she's like, oh, that's just the bare minimum. Or you're talking to a woman respectfully on a date, that's the bare minimum. Guess what? You did yourself a favor by not spending too much money and time on this girl because you did the bare minimum and were able to realize she is not going to be a long-term candidate. Bravo to you. The sixth reason, well, I'll go into this. The sixth reason why it's okay to give the bare minimum is because the bare minimum is going to be interpreted differently depending on who you date. Like I said earlier, women that are a bit younger are going to have sometimes more ridiculous ideas about what the bare minimum is versus the woman that is a bit older. And so when you start out with the bare minimum, it's going to allow you to see what these women are considering that to be, and then you can decide if that gels with you. And hey, some of you guys watching this might be rich dudes that like your bare minimum is a $200 dinner, and that is totally fine. I'm not knocking that, but I'm saying that you need to set the tone for this. And so you need to be putting out there what your bare minimum effort is as a starting point, because whatever you start at, that's going to be the lowest expectation she has. If you start up here, she's going to think you're going to always be up here. So if you even dip a little bit, she's going to be disappointed. So don't set yourself up for that. The seventh reason why it's okay to give the bare minimum is because here's the reality, guys. Most women aren't used to getting even the bare minimum. And so when you try to give more than the bare minimum, what's going to happen is it's going to feel like too much for her. Like I said throughout this whole cast, right? That women out there are just begging, I wish the guy would just take me on a date. I wish the guy would just speak to me respectfully. I wish the guy would just, text me, but not so much, but like text me from time to time, right? So even though women say that they want more than the bare minimum, most of them don't know what to do with it when they get it. And so here's the thing, because most women aren't used to getting even the bare minimum, you trying to jump over that to give the maximum is going to feel like an overload of things, and it's going to cause her to have thoughts that she didn't anticipate. Thoughts like, is this guy trying to use me for a hookup? Why is he doing so much? I remember one time I went on a date with a girl, and then like the next day she had to go to the airport, and I volunteered to take her to the airport. So I did. She had to go out of town for Mardi Gras. So she texted me like a day before she came back, and I said, hey, if you need somebody to pick you up from the airport, let me know. And her response was, okay, so like, what are you doing? Like, okay, well, you're acting kind of weird. Like, why are you trying to volunteer? Like, what's this about? This feels kind of funny. And they made me realize, like, oh, wait, like, she's probably used to guys treating her like crap. So it's not that I'm going to treat her like crap now, but all the niceties that I am willing to bring forth to the table, I have to be aware that she's probably not used to even getting a fraction of that niceness. So I got to start off in this nice train slow. Like, don't be volunteering all this time. Don't be trying to send her all these good morning text notes and stuff. Like, really take it down to a base level, like sporadically do things here and there. Take it back down to like asking out once a week. And so I found that that's what I did. I scaled it back, and I would only initiate texts to ask her out. And so we dated for like 5 or 6 months because she was like in her mid-20s and I was in my 30s, and she just graduated from school. So from her main college. So she was going to be going to grad school, at which point we broke up because she moved to a different state and I don't do long distance. But in that 5 months, by the time we finished, before she left, she was like, man, thank you so much. Like, I really got to learn from you, like what it means to actually date and be taken care of as a woman and be treated really nice and respectfully. But she had no experience of that prior. So for her to go from, I'm getting experience of dating all these dudes that are treating me horribly, to like, I'm now going to come in and be the nice guy. Just like I said, women are a dial knob. You can't just throw all that. You can't have a woman that went from like, I'm being treated like crap, just being like, oh, I'm going to be treated nice. That is too much of a light switch. That's how guys think, right? You have to dole that out slowly, because again, if she's not used to even getting the bare minimum, then to her, doing the bare minimum is going to be the whole world. So you trying to give the whole world to her is going to feel like manipulation tactics, right? But if you start at bare minimum all the time, then you'll be able to get a better read of where a woman actually is as it pertains to what she considers bare minimum. But more importantly, you won't be overly doing it to where she gets freaked out by that, Just real talk. And then the 8th reason why it is okay for you as a guy to give the bare minimum when dating is that ultimately the bare minimum, just real talk, guys, this is going to be what you're going to actually give her more often than not when you're in a relationship with her on a day-to-day basis. Like on average, if you're in a relationship with a girl, right, you're not doing these trips to Bali every day. You're not doing these overly expensive restaurants. You're sitting on the couch watching TV, or she's cooking a meal while you're at your computer working on stuff. Or if she plays video games, you're playing video games together, or you're going on walks with each other in a neighborhood, like you're not going to be doing the most every day. So she needs to be appreciative of your bare minimum, because that's what your average is going to be. And then occasionally you'll sprinkle in a few things here or there that show her that you still think of her as above average, but on average, it's going to be average. Again, women that have a level head on their shoulders understand that and are like, look, I just want to know at a base level, is he going to ask me on dates, send regular texts, occasionally get me flowers, compliment me from time to time, doesn't have to buy me an outfit, but like buy me an ice cream cone every so often. Is he going to take me on dates and pay for the meal? Is he going to like, he ain't got to pay my bills right now, but can he like take care of half the bills? Is he cool to give me some gifts from time to time? Is he kind? Is he thoughtful? Does he pay me attention? Does he show respect? Is he willing to listen to me and not overtalk me? Will he do the things he says he's going to do? Is he honest? Is he transparent? Is he faithful? Is he going to be reciprocating of my efforts? Will he show positive energy? Is he sincere in the way he moves about the world? And is he showing equal effort towards the things we're deciding on? All the things that I listed right there that are bare minimum, most women are going to be happy as punch to be in a relationship with the guy that's doing that stuff. And then occasionally you throw in a trip here and there, you throw in a few I love yous here and there, and they'll be perfectly happy. But that's sane women. And here's the thing, guy. The stuff that I teach you guys in particular, the goal is that the stuff I teach you will work on sane women. Women that are gold diggers, women that are all about me, and I need more than a bare minimum. That's the kind of women that are going to be chased away by the stuff I'm talking to you about. So it behooves you to do these things to keep the right women in your life. And by the way, to the women watching this, I get it. The words bare minimum do not sound pretty, but understand that men are doing their best. And it takes most men a long time to get to learn and do the skills that I just talked about. So if you have a guy that's willing to be respectful and ask you on dates, and you're thinking in the beginning, that's just the bare minimum. You know what? In the beginning, that's what you deserve. And I know for a fact, most guys aren't even giving you that. So accept that bare minimum. Now, I also understand that women sometimes they say things, but they're not really able to describe what they actually mean. So women basically mean like they don't want to get into a situation where they're dating a guy that then takes them for granted or starts putting forth less effort. So I will say this and pertains to that, right? Is that guys, yes, in the dating phase, you're going to be giving the bare minimum. You're going to incrementally like build up a little bit here and there. And then you're going to have a thing where you're giving bare effort. And then you're mixing that in with like giving maximum effort, right? But understand that at the end of the day, the person that you're dating, they should be the most important person to you. As such, what I don't want to see you guys doing is falling back on effort. Like you start at bare minimum, you build up a bit. You don't want to go back to where you're only doing bare minimum or lower than that. Because at that point, then the women do have a point of, yes, it'd be nice if once they're in a relationship with you, you're showing efforts that they're still worth it. When I'm in relationships, I am still doing all the things. I'm still asking on dates. I'm still giving, special days to them and like being there for them, all this other stuff. Like you want to continue to do those things, right? But for women, as a man's continuing to do those things, please, please, please do not tell them you're just doing bare effort and bare minimum, because that will make a man not want to do even that for you. So hopefully, guys, you learned a lot from what we just talked about. Oh my God, that was a lot.
You's a bad boy, but you can't stop, won't stop. You a high earning, high value, high class man. You a high earning, high value, high class man. You a high earning, high value, high class man. You a high class man. You a high class man. You a high earning, high value, high class man. You a high